Hi.
What is your name and where are you from, sir?
Ingon imong ngalan og taga-aha ka.
Um, hmm. I'm Roland Abanti. I am from Philippines.
Roland Abante's heartbreaking exit from America's Got Talent was not just unexpected. It might have been deliberately planned by the show itself. His voice, praised by the judges as one of the greatest they'd ever heard, was meant to carry him to the top. Could it be that the show's producers had their own hidden agenda? Let us uncover the untold story of Roland Abante and the shocking truth behind his AGT experience. From fishing nets to world stages, Roland didn't rise from the depths of obscurity overnight. His story begins in a small town in the Philippines, where his family barely scraped by. Born on August 3, 1978, Roland grew up with nothing but dreams, a loving family, and a determination to make something of himself. His family wasn't wealthy, and that meant no luxuries, not even stable food. Despite that, Roland remembers his childhood as full of laughter. The streets were lively, filled with kids playing games, neighbors chatting, and people living simple lives. They didn't have much, but they made the best out of what they had. Before we go further, it's clear that Roland's path holds a truth far more heartbreaking than anyone could expect. And what comes next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Ever since he was a kid, Roland had a love for music, a spark that wouldn't go out even when reality said otherwise. He used to imagine himself on a big stage, his voice echoing, people applauding. Even if it was a distant dream, the thought kept him going. He knew early on that dreams and reality don't always match. He worked hard to help his family, from carrying goods at the market to spending long days on a fishing boat with his dad. Those fishing trips were not just about catching fish. They were survival, a way to make enough to get by. Life was tough, but even after countless sleepless nights, he still held onto his dream. When the opportunity to sing at karaoke bars came by, he jumped at it. It was his escape from the harshness of reality, an escape that one day would bring him to America's Got Talent. Back in 2014, he became an unexpected internet sensation. One random night at a karaoke bar, he sang his heart out to Michael Bolton's To Love Somebody. Someone recorded it, posted it online, and within days, millions of people around the world were sharing it. Just like that, he was in the spotlight, not just in his small town, but across the globe. For a moment, it felt like the universe was finally smiling down on him. He went from being a fisherman struggling to make ends meet to a viral singer receiving invitations to perform on television. He even got to perform alongside some of his idols. His life was changing, and for him, this was nothing short of a miracle. In 2017, he released his very first mini-album, Buo, with 4 original songs. It wasn't just about singing anymore. He was creating music, expressing himself, and proving that he had something more to give to the world. The album was a big step in his career, and it showed everyone that he wasn't just a viral sensation, he was here to stay. The following year, he competed in a Filipino talent show and managed to make it as a daily winner, though he didn't win the finals. But that didn't deter him, it only made him want to reach higher. Fast forward to season 18 of America's Got Talent. He stepped onto that big stage visibly nervous, but with a fire inside him. He had dreamed of this moment his whole life. With the help of an interpreter, he shared his story, the struggles, the dreams, and the love for music that never left him. When he started singing When a Man Loves a Woman, the entire room fell silent. There was something raw, something genuine about his voice that moved everyone. Judges, audience, even the toughest of critics. By the time he finished, the whole theater was on its feet, applauding, cheering, giving him the recognition he truly deserved. Even Simon Cowell, who's known for being particularly hard to impress, couldn't hide his admiration. 4 yeses, and he was on to the next round. But things didn't go the way everyone thought they would. His path in AGT came to a shockingly abrupt end during the semifinals. It made no sense. The man who had brought the audience to tears, who had gone viral after every single performance, was eliminated. The audience was stunned, the fans were heartbroken, and many people couldn't help but feel like he got robbed of his well-deserved place in the finals. He had given powerful renditions of songs like Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You, leaving not just the judges but millions of viewers speechless. It seemed like the producers and judges made a choice that just didn't add up. What came after the elimination was a mix of disappointment and growth for him. His manager decided that he needed a break, and they took off to Hawaii for some well-deserved rest. For him, it was a much-needed escape from the stress, an opportunity to find peace after the heartbreak. Fans, however, were still in disbelief. Many believed that he was robbed, that he should have gone further. But he, being the humble person he is, took it all as a learning experience. He knew his path wasn't over just because one door closed. In fact, it was just beginning. Even though AGT didn't end how he wanted, the chances it gave Roland brought him closer to a life he never thought possible. A star rises beyond the spotlight. Despite not winning, he left AGT with a lot more than he came with. He was no longer just a fisherman from the Philippines. He was now a recognizable name, a face that people knew and loved across the world. Even though his time on the show was cut short, his impact wasn't. Fans from around the world, from America to Europe to Asia, were now following him, eagerly waiting to see what he would do next. He was set for a tour across multiple cities in the United States and Canada. He was busy planning his next steps, not dwelling on what he lost, but on what he could build from here. Then there was the exciting news that took the internet by storm, a potential collaboration between him and Marcelito Pomoy, another talented Filipino singer who had also made his mark on AGT. When a photo of them together at the airport surfaced, fans couldn't contain their excitement. Both had powerful voices, and the idea of them performing together felt almost too good to be true. He may have faced setbacks, but he wasn't done yet. He had made a promise to himself and to his family to make it big, and nothing was going to stop him. The truth is, America's Got Talent didn't just get a talented singer when they invited him to the stage. They got a story of resilience, of holding on to dreams even when reality seems to fight against them at every turn. His elimination might have shocked and disappointed many, but it didn't change what he brought to the stage. Raw talent, a genuine love for music, and a humble spirit that resonated with so many people. The show may have ended, but his path hasn't. The man who once sang at karaoke bars for a living was now set to take his music worldwide, and this time, he was ready for whatever came next. His story is much more than what viewers saw on television. There are so many layers to his path, both heartbreaking and inspiring, that were never given the proper spotlight. AGT showed his incredible voice, but they didn't fully show what made him the man he is. Growing up, he faced hardships that would have broken most people. His family struggled day after day to make ends meet, but somehow they always managed to keep going. His parents worked hard, his siblings pitched in, and he never complained, always taking on whatever role was needed to support his family. He grew up fast, shouldering responsibilities most children his age couldn't even imagine. Despite everything, he held on to hope, and that hope is what fueled him through every obstacle. It was the karaoke bars that first gave him a taste of what it felt like to perform in front of others. They were a haven for him. In those moments, it was as if all his worries disappeared. He sang with every bit of his heart, and people felt it. When he sang, it wasn't just about hitting the right notes. It was about connecting with the audience, making them feel something deep within. He wasn't trained, but he had a gift, and that was clear from the start. Even when he was just singing for fun at a small local bar, people stopped to listen. It was in those bars that he started to realize that maybe his voice could be his way out, his way to a better life for himself and his family. His mini album, Buo, was a testament to his hard work and his passion for music. The album had 4 songs, each one telling a different story. They weren't just songs, they were pieces of his life, stories of love, struggle, hope, and determination. The album didn't make him a superstar, but it was an important step in his path. It was proof that he was more than just a karaoke singer. He was an artist, and he had something to say. Creating original music was a challenge, especially without the backing of a big label. But he didn't let that stop him. He poured everything he had into that album, and the result was something he could be proud of. Competing in ABS-CBN's TNT show was another important chapter in his path. It was yet another chance to prove himself, and even though he didn't win the finals, he made a lasting impression. He sang Michael Bolton's Said I Love You, But I Lied, and left the audience amazed. His score was high, and for a moment, it seemed like he might go all the way. But he knew better than anyone that winning wasn't everything. It was about showing up, giving it your all, and learning from the experience. And that's exactly what he did. He took every performance as an opportunity to learn and grow, and even though he didn't take home the top prize, he left with something more valuable: experience, exposure, and a renewed sense of purpose. The stage gave him fame, but what went on behind the scenes shows how hard it is to chase a dream under so much pressure. A voice that shook the stage. When he stepped onto the AGT stage, he was no longer the same person who sang in those small karaoke bars. He had grown, both as a person and as a performer. But despite everything, he never lost his humility. He knew what it was like to struggle, to work long hours just to put food on the table, and he never took any of his success for granted. He was nervous, of course. Who wouldn't be? But he also knew that this was his chance to show the world what he was capable of. And when he sang, "When a Man Loves a Woman," it was clear to everyone that he was something special. The standing ovation from the audience and the praise from the judges were moments that he would never forget. But behind the scenes, there were challenges that viewers didn't see. Competing on a stage like AGT isn't just about talent. It's about handling the pressure, dealing with the expectations, and staying true to yourself in an environment that can be overwhelming. He had to navigate all of that, and he did it with grace. He didn't let the pressure get to him, and he didn't try to be something he wasn't. He stayed true to himself, and that authenticity is what made him stand out. When Roland was eliminated during the semifinals, it was a shock to many. His performances had been powerful, emotional, and full of heart. He had proven time and time again that he had what it took to make it to the finals, and yet he was sent home. It was a tough pill to swallow, not just for him, but for his fans as well. People took to social media to express their disbelief and disappointment. They couldn't understand why someone as talented as he would be eliminated when he had clearly been one of the best performers on the show. But as always, he took it in stride. He didn't let the disappointment consume him. He knew that his path wasn't over. After his elimination, he took some time to regroup. His manager suggested a trip to Hawaii, and he agreed. It was exactly what he needed. A chance to step away from everything, to clear his mind, and to find some peace. Hawaii was beautiful, and for a few days he was able to let go of all the stress and just be. He spent time at the beach, took in the breathtaking landscapes, and allowed himself to heal from the disappointment. It was during this time that he realized that his path was far from over. AGT might have been a big opportunity, but it wasn't the only opportunity. There was still so much more he wanted to do, so much more he wanted to achieve. Returning from Hawaii, he was ready to get back to work. He knew that he couldn't dwell on what had happened. He had to focus on what was next. He began planning his tour, a tour that would take him to cities across the United States and Canada. It was an ambitious plan, but he was ready for it. He had worked his whole life for this, and he wasn't going to let anything hold him back. He also started working on new music, determined to keep creating, to keep sharing his voice with the world. He knew that his path wasn't going to be easy, but that had never stopped him before. His path is a testament to the power of resilience. He has faced more challenges than most people could imagine, but he has never given up. From growing up in poverty to becoming an internet sensation, from singing in karaoke bars to performing on one of the biggest stages in the world, he has proven that dreams are worth chasing, no matter how difficult the path might be. His story is one of hope, determination, and the belief that anything is possible if you work hard and never give up. He might not have won AGT, but he won something much more important: the hearts of millions of people around the world. The future looks bright for Roland Abante. He has plans for a tour, new music, and collaborations that could take his career to new heights. He is no longer just a fisherman from a small town in the Philippines. He is an artist, a performer, and an inspiration to so many people. His path is far from over, and there is no doubt that Roland will continue to make his mark on the world of music. He has come a long way, but there is still so much more to come. Join us as we follow Roland on this incredible path. Is there anything that can stop this underdog who refuses to stay down? What do you think AGT wasn't ready for? Every act on the stage has another side, showing both the good and the hard parts of reaching for fame. Stories that define the AGT stage. America's Got Talent has definitely had its moments. The kind that leave you wondering how far people will go for a little bit of fame and glory. I mean, sure, there have been some jaw-dropping acts, but not every story behind those performances is as sparkly as the stage lights make it seem. Let's talk about some of the best and most unforgettable ones, and maybe dig a little deeper into the ups and downs they faced to get there. Because trust me, nothing in showbiz is ever as perfect as it looks on TV. First up, remember Cody Lee? The blind guy with autism who stole everybody's hearts back in season 14? The dude's performance was incredible. Don't get me wrong, he sang Leon Russell's A Song for You, and Gabrielle Union hit that golden buzzer so fast it was almost like she planned it. And yeah, it's inspiring. Here's a kid overcoming obstacles and letting the world hear his voice. But let's not forget, behind every TV moment like that is a lot of coaching, a lot of production magic, and maybe just a touch of playing up the sympathy angle. That's reality TV for you, where the real talent sometimes shares the stage with good old-fashioned emotional manipulation. Now, how about Zerkero, the acrobatic group that took the stage and turned it into something straight out of an action movie? Their acts were insane, like, don't try this at home kind of insane. They were flipping in the air like circus artists on steroids. Tyra Banks loved it so much she smashed that golden buzzer, and they went straight to the live rounds. But let's be real here. Behind all those smiles and synchronized moves, there's gotta be a lot of bruises, a lot of yelling during rehearsals, and probably more than a few arguments about who dropped who. Yeah, they finished as runners-up, but you gotta wonder, was it really worth it to risk all those bones for a silver medal? Let's talk about the Olate dogs, because if there's anything America loves, it's a good dog act. These adorable pups were jumping through hoops, dancing, and even driving toy cars on stage. Sure, they ended up winning the 7th season and $1 million prize, but here's the thing. No one's talking about the training behind the scenes. Those dogs didn't wake up one day and decide to conga on stage. It takes hours and hours of work, and let's just say I hope the treats they got afterward were worth it. And not to sound too cynical, but the $1 million? After taxes, split among trainers, and spent on keeping those dogs living the fancy life they're used to, how much is really left? Shin Lim, the magician everyone couldn't stop talking about. The guy is good, like really, really good. He's all about close-up magic, the kind where you're staring so hard at his hands, convinced you'll catch the trick, and you never do. He's won AGT twice, once in season 13, and then again in the Champions spinoff. But let's be honest though, you're not watching just for the magic. You're watching because you want to feel dumbfounded, maybe even a little frustrated. He's got this strange persona, the intense music, the smoke, everything to keep you distracted while he works his magic. But underneath all that flair, it's just the same sleight of hand that's been around forever, but dressed up for the Vegas crowd. And then there's Darcy Lynn Farmer, the ventriloquist kid who won season 12 at just 12 years old. I'll give it to her. That girl's talented. She sang Ella Fitzgerald's Summertime through a puppet and made it look easy. Mel B was all over it, hitting that golden buzzer and sending her straight to the live shows. It's cute, it's wholesome, but let's be real. How many kids are gonna try ventriloquism after seeing her and actually stick with it? She made ventriloquism cool for about 5 minutes, and then it was back to being that weird thing you find in your grandma's attic. America's Got Talent. It's a showcase of incredible performances, sure. But behind all the glitz and glamour, there's a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, and a lot of people hoping for that one big break. Some get it, some don't, and some find out that even winning doesn't mean everything's going to be smooth sailing. It's a mix of talent, timing, and just a little bit of luck. And if there's one thing that's clear, it's that the road to fame is rarely as bright as those stage lights would have you believe. Was Roland Abante's exit from AGT a fair decision? Or was it influenced by the show's hidden motives? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.